dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow.
It's not all bad, but sometimes Christmas, well, it sucks. You know exactly what I mean. Christmas music on repeat, small talk with relatives you only see once in a year, unexpected hugs from people that smell like they bathed in Christmas potpourri, shopping centres that are too crowded, noisy and bright, financial pressure for purchasing gifts, food with surprise ingredients in it. Hello vegans. Trying to keep the peace while that politically dubious uncle holds court on why everybody's suddenly autistic these days. But Mike, I hear you say, isn't that just Christmas for everyone? Well, yes and no. While these holiday stresses might be universal, for autistic people, they're amplified to 11.
Okay, it's just that whatever happened, it's like my senses have been dialed to 11.
Because Christmas feels to neurotypicals how every day feels to me. The list of unwritten rules and unspoken but very real social requirements put a foot wrong on this magical day's unpaid acting interview, and you'll be in for a year of bad luck and poverty. Last week, Meg from I'm Autistic Now What posted a video looking at the various autism mom TikToks, the horror of parents upset that their family Christmas isn't meeting their child-free Christmas expectations. The seemingly endless videos of parents posting film of their children, either having a meltdown or struggling with some Christmas activity, or just opening their presents. One clip showed a young child bypassing the special Christmas morning breakfast that their parents had made for them in favour of the same breakfast that they have every day. As though they shouldn't be allowed to enjoy their usual daily routine. Or perhaps for the last 364 days, they did the same thing every morning, and God forbid their parents' expectations on this one day be unmet. I'm glad Meg saved me from browsing Autism TikTok for Christmas content. It's a site that suggests autism meltdown near the top of the results for the word autism. It's concerning how much of autism TikTok content seems to be focused on showcasing distress rather than understanding or support. And while those videos might get views, they're not helping anyone, especially not autistic people, trying to navigate an already challenging season. Maybe they're posted as a way of venting frustration, but why go to all the bother of cutting the video, adding captions, and uploading it? Maybe it's validation? Maybe this is where all those internet points are. But here's the thing. While these parents are chasing likes and views with their children's distress, they're missing the point entirely. The real conversation we should be having is about how to make Christmas more accessible and enjoyable for autistic people of all ages, not turning their struggles into social media entertainment. What about the lights? And I'm not even talking about fairy lights, but every store and shop is rocking the flickering white, cold, fluorescent panels. And if you're a business owner, why not invest in some newer, warmer, cheaper to run LED lights? When I worked in retail, having to listen to the same dozen or so Christmas songs on repeat was torturous. Music has been used to actually torture people. Apparently, during the US War on Terror, the CIA played the Meow Mix theme song on repeat. I think that track's a bop, but I don't think I could manage more than 100 plays of it. I mean, I did manage to listen to nearly 5,000 minutes of Taylor Swift this year. There should definitely be some kind of award for that. But it was my choice. I wasn't intentionally inflicting Taylor Swift on anyone else. Sorry, Nina. Maybe if you have a family get-together and the music playlist caters to one person, maybe change it and give everyone 1 or 2 tracks in the playlist so that everyone is equally disappointed. Small talk with relatives is frustrating to say the least. I have no idea why people enjoy it so much, and especially around Christmas or weddings or funerals. Those sorts of times, comments about relationship status, employment, or your living status, or something that's not anyone else's business, comes up. It becomes the topic of conversation, often from older relatives. Earlier this month, a family relative asked me questions about my ex. Like, what are you doing? But if I reply in kind and make comments about their exes, all of a sudden, I'm the asshole? Sitting down, say, at a dinner table, makes you a captive and you can't just leave. It's so exhausting. I usually try to keep the peace in situations like this, mostly because I'm doing it for someone else. That diplomacy dike has to maintain for the duration. It feels like there's no charismatic ways to gracefully flourish and win these encounters. And I think that this is the reason why many autistic folk tend to retreat, either to quieter spaces during these events or just avoid them entirely. You know what's worked really well? When we've hosted Christmas gatherings here, the ones that have worked really well are just being peaceful and lowering expectations of that mandatory government-sanctioned enjoyment. You will be merry and bright. Nope. Our TV's playing funny YouTube videos, the table's filled with food, we might eat a meal together, it might be at a table, or it might be on the sofa by a roaring fire. We might play some games, but it's no pressure, and not everyone will. I'll usually spend an hour or two with a hot drink, a game, or reading, sitting under a Catmageddon-esque pile of cats who'll all be resting off a massive dinner themselves, purring away to the sound of harmless pranks and fails on the TV. This year will be slightly different. Since I'm inviting you, yes, you, to spend some of Christmas with me, I will be live streaming it. The details are on the live tab of my channel in your time zone. Avoid social media if you can. I've found there's nothing much for me there anyway, and I've probably spent in total probably a year or two of my life feeding it. It wasn't worth it. Christmas Day on social media is like a badly scripted Disney film. It's real life without any of the bad bits, and the saturation and vibrancy turned up 50%. And Christmas jumpers. I used to wear them, even underwater, but they're very scratchy. Quick fashion tip, just wear something you're comfortable with and it's cozy, and accessorize it with a bit of tinsel or something. Office parties are fun, especially when a drunk coworker insists everyone plays charades. They're supposedly optional, but not being sufficiently social at an office Christmas party might see you put on the next redundancy list. I did most of the Christmas shopping this year from Amazon. I'm not going to apologise for it. It isn't amazingly ethical, I know, but it did mean that I managed to avoid shopping centres that are simultaneously too loud, too smelly, too cold and too hot and clammy, and definitely too crowded. As for opening presents, you don't have to do this in front of people if you don't want to. I know for sure I've offended more than my fair share of people by not just being the right amount of grateful. It is a tightrope. Too much, and you end up coming across as sarcastic, and too little, and you just seem arrogant and ungrateful. And if your family or co-workers insist on you opening something in front of them, minefield. If it's family and they're absolutely insistent, spend a few moments practicing your best smile and thank you, that's very kind comments. If it's co-workers, you're going to be unwrapping something potentially really rude and inappropriate. I've seen so many badly wrapped dildos as surprise Secret Santas before. It's basically a meme now. I've been wanting one of these for such a long time. That might not be the best scripted reaction. Or is it? Might be. Balessa, call me. Gifts and amounts are best arranged in advance. If you're watching this video on the 15th of December, it might be too late, but I like the rule, presents for under 18s and bring drinks if you're not the host. Nice and simple and hard to fuck up. Don't apologise or explain if you need to take a break. Smokers don't, and you shouldn't have to either. Go get some fresh air and play on your phone or with your fidgets, and do it outside maybe. Watch some leaves or listen to the ambient sounds. Smokers or vapors, they're basically just regulating themselves, and you can too. Oh, while on the subject of smoking, don't vape in someone's car or house. I hate it. When I'm giving someone a lift and they start vaping some strawberry ice mango fusion and filling the car cabin with it. It's as unwelcome as a fart in a lift. Please don't, it's fucking rude. Where am I? Oh yes, so we've got 3 dogs, and Neurotypicals love dogs and understand that you need to go home to let the dog out for a wee or take them on a walk. If you're really struggling for an excuse and feel like you can give a dog a permanent home, and not just for Christmas, then get or borrow a dog. Maisie can be rented for the small price of a box of Yorkshire tea if you need a solid excuse. So, some top tips for Christmas. In summary, warm up the lights, share music choices, don't obsess over sitting together, looking at each other in the face all day, whatever. Do Christmas your way, avoid social media and the scratchy jumpers, shop online, Agree gift limitations in advance. If somebody smokes or vapes, feel free to rip a terrific fart while maintaining eye contact. And lastly, borrow a dog. Last year, I put together a small talk survival guide for going into some of my best tips for navigating social small chitter-chatter. If you've got a social engagement in the next few weeks, you should watch this video next. See you soon.